let's put a box in. Kind of sketched out our drawings here for the fit underneath the ram seat. I took our measurements that we have space under the seat, clearance for the floor on the driver and passenger side, and came down and kind of sketched out a box. I'm going to leave some excess on the bottom here to use as like a foot or a leg to hold it up off the floor. The other side's going to be pretty tight. We can add something there. So on the back, sketched out what I need for each of the 6 pieces. And so I've got the top sketched out over here, or drawn out. So we'll skip cutting. So I've got the 2 end pieces clamped together on the side there, sand their ends down so that they'll be level, smooth. Cutting it with a jigsaw kind of gave it a little bit of a wave. I like a jigsaw. If you make a mistake, you have more time to recover than a skill saw, but or a circular saw. But a circular saw, if you have a good hand, you can do that, and it cuts a lot quicker as well. What we're doing now is laying this out so we can pre-drill the holes and start assembling. I don't think we're going to finish tonight. I've got the top down on the bottom, and I got the sides, and the bottom is actually laying down in here. I've got it like that so that I can square it up and pre-drill holes to get that top, or excuse me, get that bottom screwed in there. The side panel here is going to flip around and go on the end like that after it's done. I've got it there now just to help square things up. Alright, I've marked this board where I need to drill the holes. They're marked every 3 inches with those little plus marks. And we're going to pre-drill those holes all the way down. And we'll do the same thing on the other sides. Alright, what I've done here is I've countersunk or kind of beveled each hole that the screw's going into. Going ahead and getting the screws in place with just the tip coming through. I'm going to flip this over, caulk along the screw line, and then we'll put this up on here and tighten it down. Got all those in, we'll flip it over. Caulk them up with some sealant. So we'll be cleaning off that lower board later. This goes to fit in. I'm start in the middle and work my way out. I have a feeling I'm going to splitting that board underneath, so we're not going to put them too tight to begin with. So what I did is I just kept working my way from the center out, both directions, and torquing it down a little bit each time to keep from splitting that wood too terribly. And as you can see, it squeezed out a nice seam of that caulk. I'm going to smooth that out, let that cure, and that may be where I stop for tonight. I don't know, but in any case, we'll do the same thing on the rest of the sides except for the top. So you may not see any more on this video until we get to putting the top on. I don't know. Next scene will tell us where I record again. Okay, I've got everything together except for the top, and still have to cut out a hole for the sub. Sub's going to go here, firing down. This is going to be the driver's side, and I left extra material here so we can trim that out to be the contour of the floor. When we get the truck here, we'll do some measurements and kind of slowly trim that out to match the floor. Alright, we got the top piece going on. Everything's drilled, got the screws in. Alright, there it is. We just got to cut a hole in the bottom for the sub. That'll be the way it sits up under the seat if you're looking at the back seat and extend the cab. So the sub will be right up under there. Of course, this top surface will be level. sitting on an incline now because that side panel's cut. So we'll cut the sub hole and trim out that side to match the floor. So I've drawn out my circle here. It's the outer circle. My measurements were off the first time. And so this is going to be a Rockford Fosgate. I think it's an R2D4 10-inch shallow mount sub. So I looked up the specs, and the hole needs to be 9 1/4. So I've drawn my 9 1/4 inch hole here to the outside, and we're going to cut that out. My concern here is that it's pretty close to the side panel here. I maybe should have cut this first, but I believe we can come in and cut half and then come from the other side and finish it out. We're about to find out. Let's get this done and see how much stuff we can vibrate off the table while we're here. I've cut a piece of cardboard there to match the contour of the floor, and we're going to transfer that over to the box. And that way when you shut that upper seat, it'll fit on there. Okay, we got that leg trimmed to match the floor. We cut an angle in the front there to give you a little more room for sliding in and out. And there's no leg on the other side. The box, when the seat's up, does want to tilt down on that side, but we left it no leg there so that you can still have room to slide stuff in the floorboard. And that thing is really, I know you can't tell how hard I'm pushing, but that's that thing is wedged in there pretty good. So we're going to get that wrapped in some black fabric, get the sub installed, get it wired up. I'm going to use the sander, kind of round off these edges a little bit. This is the top of the box where the seat's going to close down on top of it, and just don't want any sharp edges pushing up underneath the edge of that seat. Might tear the fabric under that seat over time. We are going to wrap this in fabric as well, so that'll keep the fabric we wrap in here, we put on this box, from having to go over such a sharp edge. Okay, I got those edges rounded up somewhat. I'm happy with it. You could use a router as well, but then you'd have to be careful with these screws being so close to the edge that your router bit doesn't hit them. So I think we're at a point where we're going to go ahead and try to wrap this. Man, I'm not a carpenter or what's the term, upholsterer, and so we're just going to do as best I can with it. Mainly just cover it from, this is going to be the front end that you're going to see sticking out under the truck seat, so we're going to mainly have that covered. I think we're going to try to cover the whole thing, but just wrap that as best we can, spray it down with fabric adhesive, and then we'll use an air stapler to staple the backside. I'm not going to go into detail on how to cover a box because I'm certainly no pro at it. I am going to say that the bottom and the front side here is where I'm going to cover first, and then the top, which is going to be under the seat, and the back will be where we're going to make we're going to do our stapling. Actually, hopefully it'll all be on the top. The back would be a better place, that way even when you lift the seat you wouldn't see it. But again, let's just say I don't really know what I'm doing. So I'm going to spray adhesive down. I'm taking advantage, I don't know if you can see it, there's a crease line from where the fabric was shipped and folded. I'm going to take advantage of that crease line, put it right on the curve. I was going to do like a time-lapse video recording, but again, since I don't really know what I'm doing, I'm just going to show you where I'm going to start, and then I'll show you what hopefully will be a decent finished product. But it turned out satisfactory. So we're going to move this back inside so we can get ready to put the sub in. Alright, we got those wired up. That's a dual coil. We're going to flip it over and screw it in the box. So go ahead and run those on down. You can keep the adapter in your driver. Now I'll torque those down by hand. I don't want to over tighten them with the impact. Alright, let's put it in the truck. So you can't see much, but that sub's up under there, plenty of clearance from the floor. So when it's driving, it won't or playing, it won't be contacting that carpet. But that looks pretty good in there, other than my geeked up fabric mod there, or fabric covering skills there on the side. But we're going to finish putting in the trim. Go ahead and tune it. I'm not going to play any of the audio because this phone or the microphone on this phone's not going to do it any justice, I'm sure. It never does on video. So. Okay, so I forgot to mention, I believe, anywhere in the video what we used. And unfortunately, I don't know all the details because the truck's gone now. Could find out later, but the head unit was some flavor of Pioneer. The sub that was used was this Rockford Fosgate Prime R2D4-10. It's a dual 4-ohm sub. It was chosen for the shallow mounting depth. I think it was 3.5 inches or so, a little over 3.5 inches. I know it was under 4 inches. And we have that bridge down to 2 ohms. And it's being pushed by a Memphis SX 250.1 250 watt single channel mono amp. So it will obviously be a mono amp because it's a single channel, right? Single, mono. Anyway, as I said, I'm no box builder. I'm no stereo tuner guru or anything like that. I just wanted to share with you the build we did for the bottom of that extended cab 99 Dodge truck. Thanks again for watching.